All right, I want to invite you and welcome you to the Saskatoon Berry Farm here in, well, just a little bit east of Okotoks, Alberta. But this is one of the places that I really believe it represents what we could really do here in Alberta as far as it goes for, growing edible and medicinal plants. This is a paradise on earth, and we're going to take you on a tour of it today. It is absolutely one of the most lush and beautiful places right now. All right, here we have honestly one of the most valuable plants economically right now in the herbal market. This is pine. This is the pine tree. And what we're looking at right now, this is the pollen, pine pollen. And if you haven't heard about it, pine pollen is the most valuable herb on the market right now. There's a few reasons for this, but one of the most is that it is a testosterone boosting herb. So you're guaranteed to grow woody. Gentlemen, ladies, take note. How do you harvest this? Well, we're a little bit late for the harvest. As you see, it's already blowing into the wind. So the idea is you find one, it's not quite there. Yeah, look how much pollen's coming out of this thing. Well, that's the stuff. You lick it and your voice gets deeper immediately. But yeah, if we're talking about economically profitable crops, growing a pine tree is going to be worth so much. There's the needles you can get the medicine from. There's the sap that you can actually cultivate the sap as well. And this is for skin healing, wound healing, but it's also a great lung healer. It's a respiratory herb, really, in all aspects. But yeah, a powerful plant and probably one of the most important on the landscape, the pine tree. Okay, so here's an actual example of when you actually want to harvest the pine pollen to actually get a lot of pollen. And it's still green. These cones, it's sort of like apples. When you take them home, they're gonna ripen. But what you do, you just twist them off. Look at that. Bump, bump, bump. Twist it off. Bump, bump, bump. And then you're gonna take these home and lay them in, I like to do a little cardboard box, like a cardboard tray. And they're gonna dry out, and then they're gonna drop all their pollen. And at that stage, that's when you can make a tincture, or you can make all sorts of different things out of pine pollen. But probably one of the most valuable things in the Alberta landscape right now, pine pollen. All right, so what we're looking at here is actually one of the most abundant things we do have in Alberta is the spruce tips. So if you have a spruce tree, you should be looking for these every spring. Well, it's about May right now. Well, it's about June. It's the summer, but these are the tender tips of the spruce. And at this stage, they can be eaten just like a vegetable. But they're also they're delicious. You have to taste this. Incredibly rich in vitamin C. This tree is loaded, so we don't have to worry about taking too many. And honestly, when you take some from the bottom, it's just gonna make the tree grow bigger and taller. But that flavor is absolutely amazing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So these can be made into a jelly, they can be made just a tea to drink. Honestly, they are prized around the world. And it's just so funny that people don't even realize what we have around as we walk around. Like, wow, this is almost better than a Saskatoon berry, if you ask me. All right, so here is one of the most interesting plants. They have been growing on the Saskatoon Farm for years and years, even before it was popular. They've been breeding sea buckthorn here. So they have all these different sea buckthorn plants across the whole farm. But little do people realize it's not just the fruit that you want. You can actually use the leaf for various things, and a tea of this leaf is one of the most mineral-rich teas on the planet Earth. That's why Genghis Khan's horses, all of this, like sea buckthorn comes from Mongolia, and they said all of Genghis Khan's horses had shiny coats. They were very healthy, but it's because they were eating this leaf. So making a tea of sea buckthorn leaf is amazing for healthy hair, healthy nails, healthy skin, healthy joints. One of the things this leaf tea is rich in is silica. Silica being one of the most important nutrients we can get as a human being. But yeah, they have a lot of it here, and I would recommend everyone start growing sea buckthorn. Get a few plants. You need a male and a female to get any fruits, but even if you don't get any fruits, the leaf is still a treasure. Wow. And it smells good too. Honestly, one of the more important plants on the planet right now is dandelion, and the benefits are just out of this world. But one of the tricks to eating dandelion, I'll show you right now. So dandelion blossoms are just amazing. What you want to do, grab the blossom, and then you pinch this. You pinch this, and look, you can get the pure petals out of that easily, and they taste sweet. I know the light is all wild like a zebra here, but they're tender, they're delicious. You're getting the full benefits of the flower. Magnificent. But yeah, lots you can do with dandelion petals. You see? All right, so there's two amazing weeds here that are, honestly, these are one of the most delicious edibles you could find, and medicinals. So what we find right here, this is called field pennycress. Now, field pennycress is a cruciferous vegetable. You can see how it looks somewhat like a broccoli. And this whole thing, this whole flower top can be eaten as a vegetable. Oh, there you go. It's mustard. It tastes amazing. So the funny thing is, the medicinal action of this plant is its richness in sulfur compounds. And these are actually proving to be so sought after because sulfur compounds, well, I'll leave it at that. Maybe I shouldn't talk too much about eating raw sulfur compounds for everything it can do for you, but it's like a mustard. It's delicious. And the next one here is lamb's quarters. So lamb's quarters is in the quinoa family, the goosefoot family. I guess because their leaves look like goosefoots. But this also is an edible green. It's actually quite like a spinach. So if I'm looking at these ones, I would pick, you know, these healthy green tops. And you cook them just like a spinach, and they're said to be 300 times the vitamin and mineral content of spinach. Like, that's the miracle of these wild plants that are growing here, that they don't need watering, they don't need cultivation, they grow by their own, and they're incredibly nutritious. So I believe these things are growing here for us so that we can be healthy and strong. And you know, it's up to us to just open our eyes to see what's growing around us, that we are being provided for. Like, this is not a weed to fight. This is something to embrace, to eat. All right, so we just approached this bush, and I could smell the heavenly scent from like quite a little way away, but this is red elderflower. And right now, you can use the flowers to dry, and you can use the flowers of red elderflower as you would any elderflower. They're analog or synonymous. What a lot of people have said about red elderflower is that the berries are poisonous, but this is actually not true. What is poisonous are the seeds. And poisonous, it's interesting. You don't want to eat the raw seeds of the berries, but what the natives would do, they would take the red berries, squeeze them, juice them, marinate the meat. They would marinate meat with the red berry juice. They would not ingest the seeds. So, fascinating plant, one of the most powerful plants, in fact, for any kind of cold, cough. What I like to do is take them. What you need to do is, just like that. I like to put them into honey and extract all the flavors and goodness into the honey. And then it's quite a beautiful flavor, but it's also good for all bronchial stuff. The other thing people do with these is deep fry them. You take them, you batter them, you fry them, you eat them. So maybe that's how people were so healthy in the old days. But yeah, what a cool, wonderful, complicated plant. This is a not for beginners plant, because the foliage is poisonous, the seeds are poisonous, the bark is poisonous, but the flowers and the juice of the fruit seem to be just fine. Very mysterious. Nice to meet you, Elder. All right, so here we are with one of the most important weeds, I would say, in the Alberta landscape right now. This is wormwood. Wormwood, aka absinthe herb. So this plant is highly sought after. Distilleries will actually buy this from people to create gin. Well, they're creating absinthe. If you know the liqueur absinthe, this is the main ingredient. So by itself, it's quite innocuous. Like, it's a very virtuous plant. Like, its Latin name is Artemisia absinthium, but Artemisia being related to Artemis, the goddess of the moon. And this plant is actually incredibly valuable to women. When you drink it, it's actually a circulatory stimulant to the female reproductive organs. It brings warmth and circulation to the ovaries. And because of this, it's known to bring balance to the moon time. And that's why its Latin name is Artemis, the goddess of the moon. But when women have a moon time that is regular, the stress level reduces greatly. And thus, women have a lot more energy. So this is one of the most important women's plants on the planet, I would dare say. Ultimately, this is also a vermifuge, which means worms are going to flee your body. And if you taste it, it's the most bitter plant on the planet Earth. I think it tastes all right. But yes, wormwood can be used, to get rid of intestinal parasites. The best way to use it that way is to actually ingest it. I would recommend people dry it, powder it, and encapsulate it. That way they don't have to taste it, and it goes right to their digestive system. I like it. I like it. It's good. All right, so we made it here to the lagoon. This is the Saskatoon Farm's water reservoir, and one of the coolest things that's growing here, amongst all the other aquatic plants, is the Alberta wild mint. So this species of mint really loves having its feet wet, so you're really only going to find it in aquatic locations. But this has to be one of the most aromatic mints there is. You gotta smell that. This mint is so strong. I believe it's stronger than peppermint. It's stronger than a lot of the other mints you can grow in your garden. This wild mint is phenomenally good. And it's interesting because the Blackfoot would actually mix this with meat. They would actually mix this with their bison meat in their pemmican. And it's almost the same as the British people putting lamb with the mint jelly, So yeah, the Blackfoot were totally onto this stuff. They were making like mint they were putting mint with their meat, and it enhances digestion. It's calms the nerves. If you're someone that has trouble sleeping, having a mint tea before bed can really help you calm down and have a good night's sleep. But yeah, this stuff is prolific here down by the water, by the lagoon. It's a paradise on earth.